Hi all, my name is Matthias Braham, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology. This time we discuss mobile computing. The subject code is IT403. The main course objective of this subject will be to study the basics of mobile computing, how the network concept is related to wireless systems, what are the emerging mobile computing ideas and practices, to have a hands-on knowledge about mobile computing. Mobile computing is a technology. It is capable of providing an environment which enables users to transmit data from one device to other device without the use of any physical link or cables is known as mobile computing. It means we can transmit data done by wirelessly with the help of wireless devices such as mobiles, laptops, etc. Whenever any device is connected to a network without being connected physically over a link or cable, data transmission such as voice recording, messaging, videos, etc. can be done by using the concept of mobile computing. It helps users to access and transmit data from any remote locations without being present there physically. Mobile computing provides decentralized computations on different types of devices, systems, and networks which are mobile, synchronized, and interconnected via mobile communication standards and protocols. Mobile computing is a technology that allows transmission of data, voice, and video via a computer or any other wireless enabled device without having to be connected to a fixed physical link. The major concept involves mobile communication, mobile hardware, and mobile software. Mobile communication refers to an infrastructure put in place to ensure the seamless and reliable communication goes on. This would include devices such as protocols, services, bandwidth, and portals necessary to facilitate and support the state services. The data format is also defined as distinct. This makes sure that there is no collision with the other existing systems which offer the same device. Since the media is unguided or guided, the overlay infrastructure is basically radio wave oriented. That is, the signals are carried over the air to intended devices that are capable of receiving and sending similar kinds of signals. The mobile hardware includes mobile devices or device components that receive or access the service of mobility. This would range from portable laptops, smartphones, tablets, or personal digital assistants. These devices will have a receiver media that is capable of sensing and receiving signals. These devices are configured to operate in full duplex mode. Thereby, they are capable of sending and receiving signals at the same time. They don't have to wait until one device has finished communicating for the other device to initiate communication. Mobile software is the actual program that runs on the mobile hardware. It deals with the characteristics and requirement of mobile application. This is the engine of the mobile device. In other terms, it is the operating system of the appliance. Since portability is the main factor, this type of computing ensures that users are not pinned on a single physical location, but are able to operate from anywhere. It incorporates all aspects of wireless communication. Various types of mobile softwares are Apple iOS, Windows Mobile, Symbian OS, and Android. In this topic, we discuss what are the major issues in mobile computing. First one is insufficient bandwidth. Mobile internet access is generally slower than direct cable connections. It will use the technology such as GPRS and Edge. If you are using higher speed wireless LAN, it is inexpensive, but the range will be very limited. With so many devices and the number of security concerns will also increase. Workers synchronize their phones, tablets and laptops, meaning if any one of these devices goes missing, the company data will be at risk, especially when we are working remotely is concerned. Connecting to unsecured networks also leaves colleagues open to hackers and other cyber crimes. Next issue will be transmission interference. Weather, terrain, and the range of the nearest signal point can interfere with the signal reception. Next issue will be power consumption. Mobile unit uses mobile batteries for the power operations. Suppose the compact size of many mobile devices means it will use expensive batteries must be used to obtain the necessary battery life. Next issues will be human interface with the device. Screens and keyboards are small so that it will hard to use. Next issue will be potential health hazard. If people using mobile devices while driving, it will cause some distraction from the driver so that it will be involved in traffic accidents. Cell phones are also interfere with the sensitive medical devices. In this topic, we discuss the major applications of mobile computing. First one, vehicles. Vehicles can receive music, news, road condition, weather reports, and other broadcast information received by the digital audio broadcasting. Next one, emergencies. Suppose if a natural disaster like hurricanes or earthquakes occur, wireless networks are the only medium for communication. Mobile computing can uses for business operation, which means they can access the latest market share information. Second one, they can use it for credit card verification. Third one, they can replace the existing wired networks. Wireless network can also be used to replace wired networks. For example, remote sensors. By the help of mobile computing, we can obtain up-to-date information at any appropriate location, such as we can use for entertainment and games to enable people can meet together and play. In this topic, we discuss wireless communication technologies. Wireless communication plays a significant role in day-to-day day life. For the communication, wireless technology has become an integral part of our daily activities. The transmission of data or information from one place to another wirelessly is referred to as wireless communication. This provides an exchange of data without any conductor through RF and radio signals. The information is transmitted across the devices over some meters to hundreds of kilometers through well-defined channels. Different types of signals are used in communication between the devices for wireless transmission of the data. The following are the different electromagnetic signals are used for depending on their wavelength and frequency. Radio frequency transmission, infrared transmission, microwave transmission, and light wave transmission. Radio frequency transmission is a form of electromagnetic transmission used in wireless communication. So radio frequency signals are easily generated ranging from 3 kHz to 300 GHz. Next one is infrared transmission. So infrared radiations are electromagnetic radiations with a longer wavelength than visible light. It is mainly used for short-range communication. Signals do not pass through solid object. Next one is microwave transmission. It is a form of electromagnetic transmission used in wireless communication system. The wavelength of microwave ranges from 1 meter to 1 millimeter. The frequency varies from 300 MHz to 300 GHz. They are mainly used for long distance communication. Light wave transmission is an electromagnetic radiation with a wavelength ranging from infrared radiations and ultraviolet radiation. The wavelength ranges from 430 to 750 GHz. Types of wireless communication technologies. Wireless communication technology is categorized into different types depending on the distance of communication, the range of data, and type of devices used. Following are the different types of wireless communication technologies: radio and television broadcasting, radar communication, satellite communication, cellular communication, GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, radio frequency identification. Cellular network is an underlying technology used for mobile phones, personal communication systems, wireless networking, etc. This technology developed for mobile radio telephone to replace high-power transmitter receiver systems. Cellular network uses lower power, short range, and more transmitters for data transmission. The major features of cellular systems are: it offers very high capacity in a limited spectrum. It can reuse radio channel with the different cells. Communication is always between the mobile and the base station. Each cellular base station is allocated a group of radio channels within a small geographic area called a cell. Neighboring cells are assigned different channel groups. Keep interference levels within tolerable limits. Cellular network uses multiple low-power transmitters, that is 100 watt or less. Because the range of such a transmitter is small, we are divide an area into different number of cells, each cell having an antenna with its own range of frequencies and a base station. Base station consists of a transmitter, receiver, and the control unit. Adjacent cells have different frequencies to avoid crosstalk. That is, cells are sufficiently distant from each other. The coverage area of cellular networks are divided into cells, each cell having its own antenna for transmitting the signal, as well as each cell has its own frequencies. Data communication in cellular networks is served by base station transmitter, receiver, and its control unit. The shape of a cell can be either square or hexagon. If the shape of the cell is square, which has 4 neighbors at a distance d and 4 at a distance root 2d. If the shape of the cell is hexagon, it is highly recommended for easy coverage and calculation. It has following advantages. It provides equidistant antennas. Distance from center to vertex equals length of side. The geographic area or cellular surface area is divided into small hexagonal region called cells. It is the basic unit of a cellular system. These cells collectively provide coverage over larger geographical areas. Hexagonal cell shape is perfect over square or triangular cell shapes in cellular architecture because it covers an entire area without overlapping. That is, they can cover the entire geographical region without any gaps. In this topic, we discuss frequency reuse. In the case of a cellular system, each cell has a base transceiver. The transmission power of the cell is carefully controlled to allow the communication only within the cell. So it is not practical to attempt to use the same frequency band in two adjacent cells. So our objective is to use the same frequency band in multiple cells at some distance from one another. So this allows the same frequency can be used for multiple simultaneous conversations in different cells. The key design issue of a cellular system is to Determine the minimum separation between the two cells using the same frequency band so that two cells do not interfere with each other. Various patterns of frequency reuse are possible. Suppose if the pattern consists of n cells and each cell is assigned the same number of frequencies, then each cell can have k by n frequencies, where k is the total number of frequencies allotted to the system. The given figure shows that the frequency reuse pattern of the cellular network, where the number of cells ranges from n equal to 4, n equal to 7, n equal to 90. In this topic, we discuss how cellular network increases the capacity. When the more customers are use the system, the traffic may build up so that there are not enough frequency band assigned to a cell to handle its call. There are a number of approaches have been used to handle this situation. First one is adding new channels. When a system is set up in a region, not all of the channels are used, and growth and expansion can be managed in an orderly fashion by adding new channels. Second one is frequency borrowing. Frequencies are taken from adjacent cell by contest cell. The frequencies can also be assigned to cells dynamically.